The Mi'kmaq word Gwyddnach means to travel by canoe. On the south coast of the island of Newfoundland, tucked inside of Bay Despair, is the Mi'kmaq community of Mi'kmaq First Nation. The land here is rolling with numerous small rivers and tributaries that feed down to the ocean. Historically, this community utilized birch bark canoes to travel along these many rivers and even crossing stretches of the Atlantic Ocean. Somewhere along the way, this community almost lost this tradition completely. Chief Mizel Joe has worked tirelessly to bring back the traditional craft of creating these vessels into the community. With the help of Chief Joe's brother Billy Joe as a master canoe builder and Derek Stride, another canoe builder, the community has made great strides in bringing this tradition back and becoming once again known for the craft of these vessels.
Building the birch bark canoe is important because it's a big part of our culture and our history. This was our primary means of travel. The section over there belonged to my father. This is where he spent a lot of his time making paddles and snowshoes, hack sandals, stuff like that. And then I built this little piece on there. Well, this is one my son started a few years ago and was a bit dried out, but he said he's going to finish it one day. Well, this is a birch bark canoe that me and Derek has constructed over the summer. Probably around 30 days or 35 probably, somewhere around there. The whole canoe is sewed together with spruce roots. All this here is the roots, and it's quite a bit of work, just gathering the roots, cleaning them, and getting them ready.
Part of the beauty of these vessels is the fact that every single piece of the canoe is from the land. Harvesting these materials becomes an opportunity to reestablish a connection, to respect and give thanks to the land for providing what's needed to build the canoes.
When it comes out there looking for roots, you gotta know which kind of roots it is to get. Because if you go just ripping roots away, you're going to end up killing trees. And that's the last thing we want to do. And by just taking these smaller roots, we, in a year or so, we'll be able to come back and get more roots from the same tree. And the tree lives. For me, it's like, I'll think back and realize that my ancestors done this, and to be able to do what they're done years ago, hundreds of years ago, is to me, it's a honor and a blessing.
It touches your heart, no matter what you do. Reviving a language or a culture like we are, it's passing through your heart no matter how you look at it. And if it don't do that, then you shouldn't be doing it. You'll let somebody else do it. Both my grandfather built canoe, but they're canvas canoes. So the birch bark canoe making has been gone for a long time. So it's now, become an important part of our history in this community.
I feel that to keep this alive, it's very important that our young people realize what our ancestors done and how they done it. Like, you take our canoe, you won't find a nail in it nowhere. But yet it'll stay together. You could use it on oceans, rivers, whatever, and it's all comes from the land. I got 3 spruce roots, and I'll hand them over to Bill, and Bill will clean them up, and we'll put them in water ball, get the bark off, then split them. It'll cover maybe a foot up the gunnel.
have to boil them for probably about an hour to soften them up and for the bark to come off. And you got to be split. About 8 feet of root, it's not going to get you very much. It's probably like, that's on the gunnels. But now, when stitching the bark, you probably get a little more than that. If you look at how the canoe has evolved over hundreds of years, it's not much. It didn't change that much, and except for probably the few tools, modern tools that we use. But the way it's built, the process is still the same. The way it was built hundreds of years ago with the root and the spruce gum and the work that goes in it and the stories and the laughs. And
Well, he was a trapper and a hunter and a guide and a truck driver. And to see him now doing this as part of his living was incredible. We never had that in our life. We grew up hearing stories about it, but never had it. So it's an incredible personal achievement on my part and their part. My part is just tiny compared to what they're doing. I sort of struck the match to get the fire going, and they kept it going, and it's still going.
In 1999, the Mi'kmaq Band Council, led by Chief Mizell Joe, decided to make a statement to the outside world. After completing their first birch bark canoe built inside the community, the decision was made to take that canoe and cross the open ocean on a traditional voyage of over 300 kilometers from the south coast of Newfoundland to the shores of Nova Scotia. It was done to show that the traditional stories around ocean voyages were possible.
no one had the knowledge to build, so we had to bring someone in. And it was a nice canoe builder from Ristigouche, Quebec, that came here and spent the summer with us, and we built our first canoe. Took us 3 attempts to do it, but in 1998, at 5:30, I think, in the morning, we landed on Nova Scotia.
I was living in Ottawa, and even though I wasn't there, I felt so proud and honored that our people built a birch bark canoe and went across to Nova Scotia in one and succeeded at it. When people said it could never be done. And, well, Bill and he proved them all wrong.
If we didn't build the first canoe, I doubt it if it would have been going today. I mean, the 3 of us, when we built that first canoe, then we built one on our own right after. And, you know, we talked about it then. It was important that this would keep going. So it'll always be here now. I heard of basket makers, and they would use spruce root and clean them the same way, split them, use them as make their baskets with, right? But the first time I ever done it was when we were building the canoes. And so that's how that's done. Then after that, what we do then is flatten our root out a little more, boy. Well, we call it the heart of the root. We take that out. Might be a little difficult now because the root's just not softened right through. We're just taking the center part of the root out. So this is what we end up with, and this is what we use. This side, well, this is the root. This is a strong, and it's flat, so that when we putting it on, it's easier to work with, eh? This is how it comes out of the ground, like this. And after we boil it and split it, and this is what you end up with. It's all fastened with the root. So yeah, I guess it is pretty much like the strengthening of the canoe would be this here. So when you splits it and gets it down to this size, and when you wraps it, you could really pull it tight then. You won't be able to do this, pull it tight with this.
We're melting spruce gum, which is mixed with deer fat and horsehair. And we use that for the canoe to seal up and stop the leak to make it watertight.
Well, we just got a few ribs put in there and some of the spruce gum. Then hopefully she'll float for a little while. These are the planking. This is what gives you support to the canoe, so we can put those. These are the ribs. So it makes the canoe a lot stronger once you put the planking in, and the ribs. Holds everything in place.
Building birch bark canoes is part of what my people have done for hundreds of years. And Bill is a great teacher. He taught me how to build a birch bark, and he teaches me more about my culture. And it's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege. When I'm working on the canoe, it makes me feel like I'm connected to my ancestors. I'm very proud, Mi'kmaq person who loves knowing more about my ancestors.
It's a lot of work just gathering enough spruce gum to do a canoe this size. The one in 98 was, that was 26 feet. Then we built a 32-footer. And I think that probably the smallest one we built was around 12 feet. This one is 18. Get it all down in every little hole that's there. When we're putting the spruce gum on, because where the root goes through, that hole's gone right through the bark, so you try to get the gum tight over those places. I always knew that I would build a canoe after the first one. And I never built one for myself yet, but that's going to happen too, I hope. If the weather permits, we're going to try to get it on the water before we store it away for the winter.
Billy is my brother and my younger brother and my dad. And but he's become the master canoe builder and the teacher. He's taught his son how to build canoes, and he's now teaching Derek. Billy is over 65 now, so he's going to retire someday soon. So we have to make sure that somebody else will continue with what he's doing. I think no matter what you do in terms of traditional knowledge, or whether it's building a canoe or building a drum, I think you have to have the passion, and you got to show the passion, you got to feel the passion.
If you got a passion for doing it, then you feel good when you actually do it, and you go in the woods, and you're looking around, you're searching for the right material, but at the end of the day, you know you've done something good and you feel good about it.
A lot of people in Con went through a lot. And Bill turned out to be one of the best people I know. He knows who I am and who I am today, and who I become and who I'm striving to become. And with his help, he guided me to get there.
We've got about a little over 900 band members here. Total population, probably more like 1,000. We're made up of the chief and 6 councillors. We have 9 departments within our government. We are not quite to the degree of self-government as a true self-government yet, but we're close. We've always been, we've always taken care of ourselves here. We lived on this side of the river, and nobody bothered us.
We're at the McDonald's Beach, where we're going to be putting the canoe out. This is early morning. The sun is just just start to rise, and cold, a little windy, but nice.
Today is a big day. The biggest of all days. We've launched a lot of canoes here over the last 20 years or so. Labor of love. Labor of love.
Well, it's nice to put her in the water and see where the leaks are going to be and how she handles on the water.
This is a gift we're giving to Canada here in Over National Park. It'll be a 160-mile water trip, following an old traditional route. And we're opening a lot of water, so we won't have to do a lot of portation, but we're still going upriver. It reminds me that how far we've come in our working relationship, partnership with Parks Canada.
Be excited, a little bit nervous that it might tip over or something like that, and not so bad about tipping over. I get nervous that we might make our community look bad. So I don't want to dishonor our community.
For the members of Mi'opukek First Nation, every canoe that makes it into the water is another step in the reclaiming of culture, strengthening the community, and a representation of the perseverance of Indigenous people.
It was great to be able to be in the canoe that we built from the stuff that we took from Mother Hurt. It's a privilege to be able to build a canoe out of birch bark like our ancestors done and actually use it. I love paddling in that birch bark. A lot better than the modern canoes, I find. It glides better. It's overall better. When doing anything in front of the chief, it's kind of nerve-wracking like that for me, for the point that I don't want to do anything to dishonor him. I got the utmost respect for Chief. He's traditional chief, and like I said, he's the man.
It's a completely different feeling than any other watercraft. A birch bark canoe feels great. This one just was smooth on the water. The connection is like making a direct connection to our ancestors, to what they must have felt like when the rivers was theirs to paddle.
Remember our culture. Remember where our people come from. Keep our traditions alive. And I would have to say, when it comes to Mother Hurt, treat her with respect. Don't take more than you need. Don't dirty her up. If you carry it in, bring it out. Because without it, well, we're people of the land, and without our land, we're nobody.
It's hard to explain, but it's a good feeling because you're sitting in something that you built, and it comes from nature, and not only that, it comes from a whole tradition that our people was able to build something like that and use it. So when you're sitting in that canoe, you automatically think about that. Well, I think it's important anyway because it's a part of our culture that was dormant for a while, and for the past 20 years has been very much alive, and hopefully the younger people do pick up on it and want to do it. At least learn about it and take part in building the canoe.
For many First Nations communities across Canada, the race is on to revive, preserve, and strengthen cultural traditions. Over the past 3 decades in the small community on the south coast of Newfoundland, the foundation of cultural preservation has been strongly put into place. What once started as a gut feeling for Sagamau Mizel Joe to save this practice has now grown into a point of pride that the entire community can look towards as a representation of ancestral ties.
I think it's something that we need to do. You know, we're down here on the South Coast and we're all by ourselves. There's not a lot going on down there. And if we don't get out and showcase who we are and what we're doing, nobody will ever know. We're here, we're still struggling, we're still trying to make things work. And building a canoe is part of that, or building a wigwam is part of it, or singing traditional songs for organizations, being in touch with government on a daily basis, all part of letting them know that we're not going away. We're still here, we're still struggling.
These canoes and the builders have inspired younger generations to appreciate and learn so that these teachings are never on the brink of being completely lost again.